as well as working on getting kin spirits into festivals when I can, and finding a producer for the short films I've mentioned previously, I'm now going to focus as well, alongside those two things, on getting feature film scripts finished. Welcome, I'm Bill Hutchens. The first thing I want to say is that I received a lovely email from an old work colleague, and it really gave me a boost. It's been over 25 years since we worked together, and her kind words and words of encouragement and support really hit home with me. So I know it's a roller coaster being an actor and a filmmaker, but it's the same for everything you do in life, any job, any aspect of life. So anytime you get the chance to give someone some positive feedback or support, don't hold back. Throw it out there, because they're going to love it. And you never know, it could be just the thing they need to give them a boost. It was for me. I've had a pretty flat week, so it was lovely to get that message. So, as you know, I'm working on getting kin spirits into festivals whenever I can, looking for ones with discounts, and whenever I've got pennies in my pocket, I submit kin spirits to festivals. I'm also looking for a producer to help me get the short films made. I've got the two I've mentioned before. I've got another one, and I've got kind of something I want to shoot for a proof of concept, or maybe to help with funding or something for a feature. And I have something which could be broken down into several shorts. So even though I'm working on getting those two shorts made initially, there's more in that pipeline as well. But doing those things, I found that I was kind of sitting back and waiting for money or notice from festivals about whether we got in or not, or that kind of thing, or getting a producer. And these things take time. So I found myself with more time than I realized. I'd convinced myself that I'd focus on those two things, I'd be fine. But I'm in kind of receive mode, I guess, on those two things at the moment. So I went back and looked at all the projects I had, feature projects, and realized that there were 2, 3, maybe even 4 that I could work on myself. I think I took an easy option with writing a big, sizable chunk of features, and then thinking, well, that's my strength, so I'll find someone else and we'll knock it together to get a finished product. Excuse me, but that's kind of bit of a cop-out, really, a bit lazy, and it's a reliance on someone else. And I'd still be sitting back in receive mode and not much happening. So, of course, I'm always looking for acting work as well on the side. So I realized I had to pick up some of these scripts which I hadn't touched in years and turn them into something viable. Even if, whatever happens to them, even if I don't get to make them myself, if I can turn them in somehow into money, then that will help me to make other things. So, and just getting them finished and they're available is going to be a lot more potential for doing something with them than having 30 or 40 pages sitting on my hard drive for years. So, And while I love the idea of working with other people, you, because I have no funding for that, I have to, I don't have choice. I have to wait until I have funding to be able to engage them, or if I'm really, really lucky, find someone that will want to work with me. And thankfully, I've found a couple of those people, but I realized I have, I think it's 10 feature scripts that in a perfect world I'd make myself, but it may not turn out like that. Certainly the one with finished Conspirates, there's 3 more that I've sort of had on my plate for years, and I really want to get those 3 made. And I've got, about half a dozen others that I'm working with other people to get written, and these other ones I need to finish myself. That's the only way they're going to move forward. I also have a short script which I was working with someone, well, I am working with someone, and we turned it into a feature, and that's moving along at a great pace, which is wonderful. And at some point in the coming weeks or month or 2, we'll have the first draft of that, which is pretty exciting. So what I'm going to do is focus on, first, a script I called A Test of Love. And initially it was about, well, it is about 2 very different men who are working to save the woman they both love, who's been kidnapped. And I had really, when I think about it, quite simple. I liked the start. I think that's a nice idea. I like the end. I think that's a nice idea. And what I'd done was put in a series of events that happened to these 2 as they're trying to save this woman, as well as the interaction between the 2 of them. And I realized it was just, this is happening, this is happening, this is happening, this is happening. And it was kind of the start, and then it was like all these things that were happening, and then the end was a bit of a, excitement, but all across the middle it was just kind of flatlining. And what you really need is peaks and troughs, and good things and bad things happening, and all that kind of stuff. So, excuse me. So, what I'm going to do, or what I have started doing, is focusing on that story. And I have come across something called the eight sequence structure, which I've never tried before. There's all these different structures around screenwriting, so I'm going to give that a crack, see how it pans out for me. I like the idea of it because it suits my mindset. I get ideas and I kind of write chunks, and having these 8 seemingly smaller chunks that I can write, I think just suits my personality, because I get an idea for this bit and I can just write it, and I'm not sort of stressed about the whole thing as I tend to do. When I start writing, I tend to want to just knock the whole thing out. But having these steps, little chunk steps, I think will suit me nicely. And I still may at some point in the future get someone else involved to help knock it into shape, because I don't have screenwriting experience, training. So maybe I need someone, well, not maybe, I do need someone to help me make sure that tone and pacing and things like that are on track. So what I'm going to do is take A Test of Love, work on that over the next few months in parallel with the other things, and hopefully some acting work, and see how that pans out. I have another one which is about a father-daughter relationship amidst an immigration scandal, shall we say, without giving too much away. And I've written about, I don't know, 60 pages of that. And there's someone I've connected with that we've worked together before, and she may, come on and help me finish that, knock it into shape. And there's a couple other things going on, which I'll wait until I've had a few more conversations with different people, and they may come onto my plate as well, which is fine. I don't know why. I mean, I've been procrastinating. I don't know why. Because these sort of half ideas or things that need flushing out, I've had on my plate, some of them for years. And for some reason, I haven't gone back to them to finish them off or get them to a state where I can realistically ask someone to give me some feedback about them. And I don't know why I haven't sort of finished them through to the end. I know I always say that my strength is the ideas and getting that big picture down and some big events in the script and all of that, and that I need someone to help me tie it together. And why do I need someone to help me to tie it together? Why don't I just do it myself? It might take me a long time, but why not? And when I think about, in 20 years' time, if I'm, living on a mountain in a cabin, off-grid, living a simple life, which would be lovely, what could I do? And the one thing I could do easily is write. So I need to be more disciplined with myself and be a bit tougher on myself. And because sometimes when you don't want to do something, because it's difficult, that's the honest truth, it's difficult. I'd had these ideas to a point and I got stuck. And I just put them aside because I put them in the too hard basket. And because I had these other things going on, kin spirits, and I have these short scripts, and I'm writing scripts with other people, and trying to get acting work, I convinced myself that it was justified. But that's just BS. I have time to work on these scripts as well as do all those other things. And I need to be more disciplined with myself. And I need to expect from myself, this sort of levels of dedication that you would hope for from your cast and crew when you're filming. So if I can't do that for me, how can I expect that from anyone else? So it was a bit of a for myself, and but all in a very positive way. So I think just sometimes we just try and, trick ourselves or something into believing that not doing something that needs to be done is okay, and we make reasons for that or excuses for that. And I think I've been doing that. So it keeps me busy, yes, but I have time. The reality is I have time to do it. So I need to just get my radar a little bit back on track and point it in the right direction. And it's okay if your radar waves, runs off course occasionally. It does, that's life. So, but being honest with yourself and being aware that that's happening is important. So I'm trying to get my radar pointed in the right direction and getting some of these other projects really pushing forward in a big way. Thanks for watching. It'd be great if you could like, subscribe, hit the notifications bell, and leave a comment. I'd love to hear what you think. And if you'd like to support me further, you can buy me a coffee. There's a link in the description below. I hope to see you in the next one.